So here's our opening that we're going to install the Smart Drape onto. So we're going to just do a little bit about the measuring side of things. So in this case, the door opening has an architrave, and that's going to be sort of our point of reference for where we take our measurements. Important to have a trustworthy measuring tool. So in this case, it's a measuring tape. And so we have to take measurements for both the width and the height. So the first measurement that we're going to take will be for the width. And importantly, we need to find out what the largest size is for an outside mount. We're going to essentially install our brackets higher up here. That allows us to clear any obstacles, but also gives the shade some nice height, makes it look really nice. So for our measurement for the width, hook our tape on the end, pull it across, and this will allow us to find our point at the top here. And we want to repeat that process a few points along the architrave to find out where the widest point is, because architraves, doors and windows will not be 100% square. Importantly with Smart Drape, we're not just going to take the width measurements from arc to arc, but we're actually going to make an addition to make sure that the veins of the product close over the opening and we don't have any gaps. To take measurements for our height, what we're going to do is start with the tape end on the floor and measure up to the height of the architrave. Importantly as well, we need to make sure we take the highest measurement for this point. And then we have to think about where we're going to mount the Smart Drape. So if we're going to mount it directly onto the architrave, we just take the tallest height measurement from the floor to the top of the architrave. However, if we're going to mount the brackets higher up, so if we're going to get this bracket to sit up above the architrave, and that could be all the way up as high as you wanted to, we just need to make an addition for the height of the bracket. So our the height that we take and that we provide when we order the Smart Drape is from the top of the bracket, this point here, down to the floor, and then the factory takes a 13mm deduction. So this one has been ordered at 2.226 meters high, which means that we're going to have to take the bottom of the bracket about 10mm off the architrave, and then we'll be able, that's where the position of our shade will fall close to the floor, about 13mm off the floor. So we'll just have to take our bracket, and we'll have to, with a system like this where it's just two brackets, we need to take a measurement 100mm from the end. That's where the bracket will be for the right hand bracket. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So I'll sit in about this position here. We also need to take it up 10mm. So we take it up to that point there. The bracket itself has an elongated hole and a locking hole. So when we do this drilling here, this will allow us to shift the bracket up and down a few millimeters to give us some adjustment in case there might be a little bit of rise and fall on the floor without us having to unfix and then refix the entire bracket. So once you have the brackets in position and they're installed, now it's just a simple task of clipping the track into the brackets. So the track will come complete with the handle already pre-installed onto the mechanism itself. So to install the track, it's just a very simple method of hooking the front in and then pushing it back and clipping it into place. Nice robust click. And the Smart Drape rail is up and ready to go. So with our rail installed on the brackets up and everything's working, operating smoothly, now it's the time to attach our vanes. And so it's important to note that you need to remember what direction your Smart Drape is going. So in this case, it's stacking to the left, and the factory will mark each one of these rolls appropriately. So there'll be a roll A and a roll B in this case, meaning that roll A starts from the left and will go to about the middle, and then roll B will keep going and go across from left to right. So everything that we do as far as the rolls and as far as the vane spacing will be from left to right in this case. And so we'll start with roll A, and we'll attach them individually, in this case, into the track. And there's two methods to actually install the vanes, which we'll show you. So obviously we're working with fabric here, so we want to be very careful when we're cutting. Where we can, we want to remove things by hand, but if we need to, use a knife to help that along. Just be careful not to nick any of the fabric veins that are inside. So as we said, the veins are going to start from left to right. So the two methods that we can follow to attach the veins is to assemble them on the ground by taking the first piece here. You'll see a little tag here which says first vein from the left end of the blind of the track itself. So we'll remove this sticker once we're assembling it. Now, if we're going to assemble the veins down on the floor, then what we have to do is a motion that allows us to connect them. So we pick the veins up, we actually turn the veins over like this, which then has the prongs of the bracket, the prongs of the clip facing towards us. We then pick up the next vein and connect it like so. Push the hinge clip down, clip them together, and that's those two veins now attached together. And so we can keep doing this process. So we can hang this section now as it is, and I'll show you how that's done. So we can hang this over our shoulder. This is our very first vein on the far left. So we can start over here. Two hands, we just want to grasp and push up. And that's that vein attached. As you can see, the rest of it's hanging, so we can then just get in here, pop them up. All right, so now with all the veins installed up on the track, you can see the lovely shape and design of the Smart Drape with its lovely folds. And what's also fantastic about it is each vein is individual, so you can actually slip through the shade itself. So importantly at this point, once you've got your veins up, is to use your wand and to twist. Make sure it goes fully closed in both directions. And then run it through its motion here. So you get the wand and you push it across and pull it across when you want to draw the shade. And as you can see, we've got plenty of clearance here. Everything's moving nicely on the floor. There should be that 13mm gap between the floor and the veins based on the measurements we took there. And as you can see, everything's looking really nice here.